The famous Mexican artist Frida Kahlo was a painter, so you wouldn't be surprised to find her work in a museum. But she's also being celebrated here at the New York Botanical Garden.
We looked at all the paintings that she created to see which plants she represented, and we looked at the embroidery in her dresses, we looked at the flowers she wore in her hair and all the photographs.
Karen Daubman of the New York Botanical Garden says they've pulled together many of the plants Frida Kahlo had in her own garden.
She had fuchsia, she had dahlias, and she had zinnias, all sorts of cacti and succulents. Frida was so passionate about Mexican culture and all things native to Mexico. That was the main component of the things that she surrounded herself with, whether it was her clothing or her hairstyles, and also the plants that she collected.
In addition to seeing plants like Frida grew, visitors can stop by the Library Art Gallery to see some of the artwork she created that's been loaned to the Botanical Garden. The iconic image for the exhibition is the self-portrait with thorn necklace and hummingbird.
It's a beautiful portrait of Frida, and you can see she looks serious. She's got her eyebrow, she's got her hair in a really nice woven braid on top of her head. Behind her, you'll see alocasias and calocasias and xanthosomas, all different types of elephant ear plants. Those are the backdrop in the portrait, and those are in the garden here in the conservatory.
Frida lived from 1907 until 1954. As a child, she had polio, which left her with a limp. And then at 18, she was badly injured, pierced by a chunk of steel in a crash between a bus and a trolley car. That's actually when she started painting.
When she was ill and bedridden, her family created an easel for her so that she could paint in bed, and it was sort of something to help her pass the time.
She had often watched the famous Diego Rivera as he painted a mural at her school. They later fell in love and had a long, open marriage. He recognized her talent and encouraged her art. Some of her works show deep sorrow about her 3 miscarriages and her inability to have a child. Others show happiness.
She was always putting her animals into the paintings as well. Her little parrot, Bonito, is featured in a few of the still lifes.
Frida and Diego lived in the house where she grew up, La Casa Azul, the Blue House, which is now a museum.
It's a beautiful courtyard-style home with a garden in the center, and the walls are all blue. So it was really a challenge to find the exact blue color to bring that back here to the Bronx so that people could experience Casa Azul blue.
But you did it.
We did it. The pyramid is one of the focal points of Frida Kahlo's garden in Coyoacan, Mexico. This pyramid is almost exactly the same. It was originally created by Frida and Diego when they expanded their garden, and they were looking for a way to showcase Diego's collection of pre-Hispanic sculpture. There were many photos of her in the garden. There's all sorts of marigolds, which are really important in Mexican culture. There's calla lilies, which are in many of Frida and Diego's paintings. This is our version of Frida's desk in Frida's studio. Her studio was in her home in Mexico City, the Casa Azul. It had these beautiful, huge windows that overlooked the garden. Beautiful wood desk, beautiful easel, all sorts of paintbrushes and little bottles of tints.
While museums often borrow work by different artists, it's a little unusual for a botanical garden to have artwork on loan.
There are only 225 Frida Kahlo works. Many of them can't travel out of Mexico City because of cultural patrimony. And so those that can travel, you have to really have a great angle for the exhibition, and they were thrilled that we were looking at Frida Kahlo differently. We were really inspired by seeing her still life paintings and her self-portraits and how much floral imagery is in all of those works.
People have long been intrigued by Frida Kahlo's love affairs and political views in favor of the poor, as well as her art.
She's definitely livened up the New York Botanical Garden this summer, and we've had thousands and thousands of visitors, many of whom come to the New York Botanical Garden dressed as Frida Kahlo, and we just love that. They like that she was a rebel, they like that she was so into her culture, and that she did what she wanted to do.